Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me is our returning runner from the Rockies, Bethany McChesney.
That's a good one.
And speaking of traveling, this episode is brought to you by Duonamic with their door pull-up system, which is great for traveling to the Rockies or anywhere else or whatever. Awesome. So you're just joining us, but we got caught up in literally on Instagram here because this is not what I want to talk about, but another person tagged Phil Toon for drug test failure at the Granite Games. And I'm just reading the post. So I was just telling Bethany, his excuse was he was taking Propecia and Proscar to combat male pattern baldness. And I've heard this before. I had to think back, but it was, do you remember a goalie for the Montreal Canadiens, Jose Theodore?
Yeah.
He got popped for steroids too, or whatever, performance enhancing drugs. And he said the same thing. That's what he was taking.
Oh, wow.
And yeah.
They know though, like every athlete has your giant list of drugs that you know are banned. And I mean, if you're having a problem with baldness, so I was just reading really quickly here too. It says it can also be part of hormone therapy for transgender women. So it very clearly works aggressively on the hormone system. So you have your big list of stuff you can and can't take. So you're taking that knowing you're taking that risk of being tested positive.
Yeah, I call shenanigans. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, bald is beautiful. Accept it and love it. And number two, like it's just okay. So Nicholas Joyal as well, the Canadian CrossFitter who finally qualified, he tested positive again. And what he did was wrong. I mean, he cheated. But you know, at least he owned up to it and said, you know what? I fucked up. I cheated. And I'm going to be a long time trying to make up for it. It is what it is. But yeah, it's tainted burritos. It's male pattern baldness. It's
Do you know how the CrossFit Games works? Do they have a competition ban for a certain amount of years?
I think it can be 2 or 4 years.
2 or 4. Okay.
I can't remember his name, but that dude from Australia who came, I think he came third.
Yeah.
1 year, and he knocked Vellner off the podium.
Yeah.
And he got nicked, and I think he was banned for 4 years.
4 years. Yeah, it seems about right.
But you know what? I guarantee it's running rampant through CrossFit. Like,
yeah,
it's just there's no way it's not.
And people just take their bets on them not being tested. And I don't know CrossFit well enough to know how often their athletes are tested, or if it's just in competition, or if they
just
have
competition.
Yeah. So I mean, you could even be taking things out of competition, like
and
you can get all those gains, and then.
And I would wager a great deal of them are. And it's kind of sad, and I hate to see it. And then a lot of them are saying, "Oh, it was a tainted supplement," and all that stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm not just saying it's CrossFit. I bet you it's rampant through OCR too.
Yeah.
You know, OCR, it'll be everywhere. It's just anywhere there's competition, people are going to go to that next level to do it. And that's what it is. So anyway, another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Too bad our Canadian, but.
Yeah, it was sad to see that. And it was such a good story. You know, dude had been trying forever and then finally got there. And then, you know, I mean, but I guess that's why it's like that. So now you're having a little kind of like camera glitch. So you'd be distracted. But I was going to ask you, so how was Colorado? And how was the cup?
How was the Stanley Cup? I'm just going to unplug it and then plug it back in.
No problem.
Colorado was amazing. Yeah, I could definitely live there. We had a really good time. So my brother's only lived there a few months. And then my good friend Lanny's been there for 2.5 years now. So I did have a chance to spend time with her as well. So yeah, we did some pretty big hikes with my brother. And then, the one day we went out and ended up in the Stanley Cup celebration party, totally random. So the parade was the day before. And then Lanny and I went out and we were going to watch the fireworks after the baseball game. And then we were leaving the bar where we were watching the fireworks. We were on our way home. And then I see the Stanley Cup come in. and and then we're like, oh my gosh, it's a Stanley Cup. And then they went up on stage and we were at the stage, and then one of the guys kind of fell back on us. So it was Canada Day. So we had gone out in Canada racing tops that belonged to Lanny. And the guy that tripped on us was Canadian. And then they were, oh my gosh, happy Canada Day. And then they were asking us a couple questions. And then as we were talking to a few of them, they were being ushered back into this VIP area. So we were still kind of mid conversations. They were like, just come back, just come back. So then we ended up in this VIP area with them. And then they moved bars. And so we kind of got into some conversations. And I think it was because like they were asking about what we do and like our sports and stuff. And we were just kind of chatting like normal human beings. I was only slightly obnoxious to Nazem Kadri because I was like, you're from London, Ontario. I just want to get my picture with you. So he was the only one who's kind of like, but the other guys were, it was really awesome. So yeah, we then they ushered us to the next bar with them. And there was this VIP area there too. And it was just so much fun, like just getting to celebrate with them. And people were kind of getting kicked out of the VIP area. Honestly, I was waiting all night to just get kicked out. I was like, we're not supposed to be here. I don't know why we're allowed to be here. But I think it was just like the Canada thing, and like they were chatting with us and they were having a good time. So yeah, I did get to drink out of there, passing around it's like a replica Stanley Cup, a smaller one, and I did so that I had a drink out of it. And yeah, it was so much fun. It was one of those nights where when we laughed after, Lanny and I were both like, I can't believe that just happened. It was so much fun.
So I spent some time as a bouncer, and let me explain something to you. If you don't already know this, Bethany, attractive women don't get kicked out of VIP areas unless they do something really stupid.
Yeah, so we were really conscious of not doing anything stupid. There was even times where it's like one of the players was like, come up on stage and dance. And I was like, no, I'm not. That's exactly how I get kicked out of this area. And I did lose my voice. So
I see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get some good training runs in?
Some good training. What?
Did you get some training runs in? Or did you and Lanny do a deca sim?
We didn't do a deca sim, but we did a run. I was struggling a fair bit with the altitude and trying to keep up with her also, and the heat was crazy. It was actually, that's why my voice ended up like this. So we did a big hike, a 14er, and my throat swelled so bad with the altitude. And then coming off the mountain, it swelled so bad that I could barely speak, and it was so painful. And then by the time we got back into Denver, which is still, it's a mile above sea level, it had calmed down, but then it was just so scratchy and raspy. And then it's just been like that really ever since. So I don't know, it's a weird altitude thing going on.
Is that common? Like I've never done altitude. I've never been anywhere at high altitude, so I have no idea what it'd be like.
I've never had it happen to me before. I've been at altitude a few times. I feel like I might have been fighting something off. And then so there was something in my throat. And then it's kind of like that was a weak spot. And that's kind of where it affected me. But I never felt sick. It just, my throat got really bad. So I don't know.
Sounds like it was worth it anyway.
Oh, it was worth it. It's fine. Yeah, it was such a good trip. But yeah, I did get a lot of training in. My brother lives right by trails, so I had a lot of biking and running in them. And I saw the biggest snake I've ever seen in my life. They were like, oh, we've only seen a couple tiny ones. And then I came up on this huge 4 or 5 foot snake. But it wasn't rattling, so I did stop to take a video.
I was when I ran in Alabama, and that was the same. I was told, "Oh, watch out for snakes." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Pardon? We don't have to deal with that at home. There's no
little
gardener snakes, the size of a ruler or something, but still real snakes.
Oh, it was big.
So while you were gone, we had the big event in last week's podcast, and we got our first ever DECA gym in Canada.
Yes. I'm so
Very,
excited. I still have to listen to this.
oh, well, I was spectacular.
I'm sure, as always.
I thought, but it was very good. She was Jess was very informative, very very good. Had a little video issues with it, just her signal again, farm girl,
Yeah.
signal's not the best out on the farm. But still was good and a lot of great information, and it'll be a real lot of fun. I would expect their first event to probably be in October, would be my guess.
October. Okay.
Set up, and it'll probably be limited. I'm going to guess to around 50. I think she may have said it limited to around 50 people or so.
Okay.
So when they post, sign up quick, because
Yeah.
it might get full quick. Maybe if it fills up fast, I might be able to talk them into doing a 2-dayer instead of
Yeah.
just the one. So
Yeah.
it was
I
great.
bet it will.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just going through a list of people that I know want to go. I've already gotten some messages from some friends and stuff going, when is it? Let's go. Let's be on it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be good fun, and I will definitely, well, provided I'm not pre-committed somewhere else, but
Right.
working on it with that. Whether I mean, I actually said these are when I'm available.
Right. Yeah. We'll try to avoid like Blue Mountain.
Well, yeah, exactly. And they're actually going to Blue Mountain as well because they have an OCR program. So they'll be going to Blue Mountain as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So they'll be avoiding that. I told them as well, avoid OCR WC weekend. That's not a great one. And Tough Mudder Toronto as well. Those things around there. So I think early October is probably best in the card. Something around the first couple of weeks of October would probably be logical.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know, if that, when, whatever, for sure. I'm just saying that seems like a logical time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting. And
Yeah.
so along with that, following our little chat here, we have I just did a great interview with Mintra. And you're going to enjoy it. She's very open, honest, answers every question, and we address a lot of stuff. So definitely stick around for that. That said, like you said, so you and Lanny, you're getting prepped for DECA. Are we ready for Chicago? Because that's like that's my next big thing there.
Yeah. I'm feeling good. Training is going well. So Lanny and I did sit down and kind of get a little bit of a plan as to how to do it. We were going to watch some videos of some other people who've done really well with the relay system, and kind of their strategy. We're so polarized on what our strengths are that it's like we're not really trying to share the workload and the running, or that she's the runner, I'm the stations, and then just whatever we have to do together. And so our strategy is probably pretty simple. So yeah, we had a good chat about that, and she's really pumped. Actually, it's good for her to try these other things. Her running is going pretty well too. So, but she kind of takes it down a notch in the summer and does a few other things. She does shorter races and some fun things and off distances like 8Ks and random. So yeah, she's really pumped about it.
It's going to be interesting, and you're going to have from what I hear, you're going to have a men's team going for the men's record as well.
Oh, exciting.
Ryan Kent and Rich Ryan teaming up to take a swing at it.
Oh, okay. I saw that they were going to do that. I didn't realize it was in Chicago. Awesome.
Yeah, so that will be very entertaining, and as well provide for a good men's field, which we will be streaming, I believe, on YouTube. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to stream it on YouTube, because that way you'll be able to put it on your television if you want, and not just on your phone to hold. So that's the plan. I've been practicing with my gimbal here, where I think we're going to get a really good product out of it. So it'll be a lot of fun, and regardless, it'll be the right price.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I was really jealous of your trip, and the one question I have about it though is, everybody is training out there, right? Everybody. Do you think it would make like if you were training out there full time, do you think it would make a huge difference for you?
Oh, wow. Yeah. And the biggest thing was, so it obviously helps being at altitude, right? Increases blood oxygen carrying capacity, but even just, there's hills everywhere. Like the trails in my brother's backyard was a huge climb. Like I don't have that anywhere close to me. So even just with training, going up and down on mountains would make such a big difference. Like I was like, I don't even want to leave. Like, this is just so great. and then you go like 90 minutes and you have like, I don't even know how many huge mountain summits. Like it would be such a good training environment. And even just the people there, the lifestyle is quite different, right? Like there's bike commuting and there's bike lanes everywhere, and it's just a very active lifestyle. There's always things going on. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would make a really big difference, but I mean, I can't overthink it because it's not like I can really ever move there. But oh yeah, I could definitely, if I didn't have kids, I would be in somewhere like that for sure.
Oh, don't. The places I'd be without the kids. Jesus.
Yeah, it's
Parents.
so, and it's just so beautiful. Like everywhere you look is mountains. So
That's nice. That's
mhm.
nice. I don't know. I would still, I thought like when I went out to BC and stuff and saw the mountains, I liked it and I thought it was good, but I was still more taken aback by the desert when I was in Vegas. As like, as far as geographical things, I never thought would just be something that hit home with me. I loved the desert. I can't
Oh
believe it.
yeah.
Never thought that. But,
It's interesting.
so I'm gonna ask you this. You may not have had a chance to catch up. So if you haven't, we'll cover it next week. But did you get to watch or check out any of the Utah race from Spartan?
I saw the results. Yes, I didn't see race coverage, but I saw the results.
Well, they did a live race coverage for a change, and that was good. The OCR report helped with that, and it was a bit of a shaky start, as in it didn't start when it was supposed to. So
Oh,
that was a bit rough, and I felt for them. I was like, oh, I feel for these guys. And then it probably kicked in maybe like a mile into the race, and then for some reason kicked in. And actually, then it went pretty good. It was some good commentary from Bracken and Kirk and
mhm,
David Magida, and some good rabbit work from Killian and Jack Bauer and oh my God, Hammond. So it
mhm.
actually went pretty good. It's worth checking out. Take a look at it. But the big thing from it, a first win for Hawk Call
Yeah, I saw that. It's exciting.
was pretty big and exciting. But I think probably the more interesting thing from it was, and I think it was 11th place finish by VJ, who was not feeling well, who was under the weather,
Uh-huh.
which sets up for an epic race at Blue Mountain.
So does that mean that now Ryan and BJ are tied?
No, VJ is ahead by I think about 7 points.
Oh, okay.
Right. So VJ will, like, this will be the race VJ drops. Right. Now put it this way, if VJ had won, it would have been over. That was
Okay.
it. But now this is the race VJ will have to drop. Right. So he has, I think, like a first or two firsts and a third or something like
Mhm.
that. And Atkins has like a first or two firsts and a fourth or whatever. So yeah, there's about 6 or 7 points apart, which I think makes it really tight at Blue. And kind of, I think Ryan might need one person to be in between them, kind of thing, depending on where they finish. So
Mhm.
it makes for a very exciting race, which will be awesome to see. And
Cool.
not only that, I'm assuming that, and I know from Emma, but we're probably going to have a great Emma Lindsay head-to-head showdown,
Yes.
which Lindsay will get the title because she's raced more of the races and Emma's had more of, but it will just make for a great battle, which will be so much fun to see.
Yeah, especially at our home course.
Nah, in the backyard.
Yeah.
Small beds available, $150 a night. You know, unless you're really fun and bring beer, and then we'll ring a deal.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's time we get on to Mintra. And like I said, this is good stuff. Very important. We cover a lot of things like sled gate and other important things like qualifications for 2023 and other great stuff. So here we go. Mintra Tilly from Hyrox.
Okay.
Perfect. Now you can't say anything that's, at all controversial. It's all deadly, serious shit.
Right. I love it.
Cool. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm well. Bethany couldn't come because she has classes and gym to run and all that stuff. I'm sure you can relate
Yeah.
to what that's like. But she says hi and everything, and looks forward to getting out to the next one.
Say hi
Um,
back.
So I'll go right into it because it is late for you, and that way we won't be too long. So first, thank you for coming on, and it is late, and that's awesome. if you don't know who this is Mintra and it's Tilly, isn't it?
Yes, it's Tilly. Yeah.
And you have something to do with Hyrox.
Yeah, a little something.
A little something. What is the official title? What do you like, Grand Empress?
Um, no, I think it's global. It's global head of sports. Yeah.
Nice. Is that, do you have a card that says that? Because that's like a cool card.
I used to have a card, but I don't have any cards anymore. So I could, at this point, just could make anything up, I guess.
Yeah, I have one, but it just says purveyor of unsolicited opinions.
I guess that's good too.
Yeah. One thing, I mean, it's been forever. You were on like our third show, which really helped us, but you and Flo and E-Rock really helped us get off the ground. And that was, so we were so thankful. Flo did set that up. Thank you, Flo. A lot has changed since then. There's been a lot of great stuff, obviously. And going back, first off, just want to say congrats on Vegas, the World Championships. We didn't get to make it down there, but it just looked awesome and it came off really well. Did it go as you expected?
Actually, I went and I didn't have much expectations. Everybody was like, hyping. I've never been to Vegas, so I was kind of like, just going in without expectations. And it actually hit me when we did the grand, that walk in with all the flags and all the nationalities and stuff. And I must say, this was a little bit of like I might have shed 1 or 2 tears because it was really, really awesome and it was just so emotional. So I actually really enjoyed it, and it like going in with no expectation went well for me because it was a really great experience for me, at least. Yeah.
I will say, going into it, and I might have said this on the record, I might not have, but I was actually worried.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was, because I mean, and I'll tell you straight out why. I mean, I think I mentioned to E-Rock at the time or whatever, somebody, but some of the attendants in the States weren't as good as I think they should have been or could have been.
Uh-huh.
And then when I saw it was in Vegas, I thought that's a great location and that's awesome. And I think that could really go over well. But then I heard there wasn't going to be any kind of open wave. It was just going to be all qualified people. And I was like, oh man, it's like, I wonder if that will hit the numbers hard, because, so many people, a lot of people qualified, but sometimes when you get a lot of people qualified, they don't show.
Yeah.
And really kind of, I'm going to call it much to my delight, I was very wrong. And you did get a great turnout. Did that ever worry you guys? Were you ever concerned by that?
No, not really, because the concept of the World Championships has been around for quite some time. So we always do age groups in the World Championships, and we always do pro weights in the World Championships. And they're usually, you're right to that point, they're usually a little smaller than the regular events, but like the no-show rate is not that high, because when people qualify for the World Championships, there must have been something really, really big happening that they won't come, because at some point in the season they made the decision to come. So yeah. Yeah,
because I all the people that I heard that went just all raved, whatever, and that's one thing that you guys do really well, is that whole experience atmosphere thing, right? Like from what I've seen, that's seems to be something you guys do better than anybody, is you put on that, I don't want to call it the show, but almost that like PT Barnum, make it feel like a big deal kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. No, I'm telling you, that walk-in moment with us, like they had like hand-picked songs for each nation, and they made them walk in with the flags and stuff. It was just, I had goosebumps. That was awesome. Like, I really liked that one. Yeah. Kudos to that team who came up with that.
Yeah, they did a very good job. A couple of things from that, and we'll get rid of one right away. All right, and this is sled talk with Mintra. So going into it, the sleds, and I mean, I had people messaging me right there. They were like, "They're taking a plate off the sled. They're taking a plate off the sled. What's going on?" And so you guys did. You removed some weight from the sled. And now, this is my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the official thing was that the sleds used in Vegas were heavier than the normal sleds. So when the plate came off, it still evened out the weight to what it should be. Is that right?
Yeah, somewhat. We had different poles coming in. We wanted to change poles out entire season pretty much. And then it just never, with COVID and shipment delayment. So it came like, they happened to came in at Vegas. So we changed them at Vegas, and then they were like significantly heavier than what we had on before.
So were they like solid steel poles?
Those they're like for one, they're like taller. So they're, I want to say they're like 20 centimeters taller, like all four of them. And they're just made of some kind of different, I don't know, material, but they were significantly heavier. So the overall sled weight turned out to be super heavy. And we just couldn't, we just had to do something, because we couldn't make everyone push like a heavier sled than what they're used to. So the sled became heavier, and we reduced the weight, and then it was almost the weight that was supposed to be.
So it was a trick to even it out to make it better for the European athletes, right? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, but that's funny that you say that. I mean, how would this favor the European athletes? Because at the end of the day, everyone had the same circumstances, everyone pushed the same sled weight. And if we look at the statistics, I think we've had more Americans walk away with champions or with titles than the Europeans. So, and at the end of the day, it wasn't in favor of anyone. And matter of fact, the overall data, like the sled times, particularly the sled push times, were slower than the average season time. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just joking about the controversy or the
I know
conspiracy theory thing, but I have heard people say things like that. But for me, and I'll go right to this, I don't think it matters if the sleds are the same from the event to event, right? And I know that's been a goal of Hyrox, to try to have it as similar event to event, and that's great and that's noble. I don't think it's quite possible, because I mean, humidity, conditions, carpet, layout, all of it. I look at Hyrox more as a marathon type thing, where the courses are similar,
right,
but they're not all going to be exact. So I don't think it really matters, as long as, like you say, on the day they're all kind of the same, right?
Right.
From lane 1 to lane 12, whatever it is, as long as those are all the same, it doesn't really matter. The only time it matters is when you're talking about the world record and stuff like that. The other time it matters, though, and this is something that's come up a lot and a lot of people have questions about, is during qualification standards for the world championship. So a ton of people have asked me, and I'm sure hundreds have asked you, are you guys going to set up the qualification standards the same way as last year? It's going to be like just a top 16, or are they going to go from, like, I mean, I had my own theory as a way to do it with like 3 different championships and go from there, pick 5 on top and something. So right now, is Hyrox plan to go the same way?
Yes and no. We actually did switch it up a little bit. So the champion, like the world championships, ultimately at the end, we'll still have the elite 15, but leading up to that, we will have 2 regionals, perhaps 3. That's not entirely decided. Yeah, it'll be.
I like 3.
For sure, it's gonna, yeah, we'll see, but for sure, it's going to be 1 U.S. championships, 1 European championships, and then, so the way this is set up is it's an open championship, so everyone can sign up, but it'll have an elite 15 race at the end, kind of like in the way of the setup of Las Vegas. Okay. So leading up to that event, the people who have the fastest times, the 15 fastest times, will be in that elite race, and then the places like the 1st to 3rd place is automatically gonna qualify for the World Championships Elite 15, and then like the remaining 12 slots are gonna be over the course of the season.
Okay, so for the like you say, if there's 2, and I used to like say European and North American, so for the North American one, the first 3 spots automatically qualify. Is that what you said?
Yeah, the first 3. Yeah, the first,
so
the second, and the 3rd. Yeah.
So your podium automatically qualifies, and then from then you'll pick the top 12 remaining times from all the events.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I mean, it's not, I think that's a step in the right direction. I like that. I like it better. I would have went a little further, but whatever. That's me.
Like I'm interested to hear. What would you do?
Well, my idea, and this is because I'm grandiose. I can throw things at the wall. I'm not in the position where I have any money on the line, so I can do whatever I want.
Right.
But what I would have liked to have seen, or what I would have liked to have gone for, is 3 different scenarios where you had one in Europe, one in North America, and one in the UK, because the UK has really grabbed on. Seems to be
It's
like
huge.
really
Oh my God, yeah.
So and then I would have just straight out took the top 5 from each one of those, and that's your world championship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
and that way it's simplistic, and you have no sled controversy. You have no different venues are faster than other controversy. It's all, this is the day you got to be ready for. So that was my idea. And then if you decided to up it from 15, then you could make some like a couple of last chance qualifiers, maybe one at each place where one more spot becomes available, kind of an exciting thing like that. And plus it also gives, I thought that would give the athletes who do qualify more time where they know they're in, you know, and that was a critique I did have from last year, was down to the wire. Some of the athletes didn't know they were in, and it was getting close. So, I mean, again, like I said, it's very easy for me to say on this side of the table, whereas you know, I don't have a lot of stake in the game, but like, I still think that's a step in the right direction, and I think that will be received better.
Yeah, I do like the idea, as it's like clean, and as you said, like, you know, there's really no ways around it. But like, on the other hand, if you look at the last season, you know, if you have like leading events qualifying up to the world championship, then you still give people chances. And I think we've had 2 or 3 athletes who really wanted to qualify, fly out to London and try, didn't make it, however. But, you know, I think that this keeps it just more interesting, and just even open to people to, you know, to prove that they can run that time. So
Gives them more than that one shot.
Pros and cons to it. Yeah.
Gives them that more than that one shot. No, it's good. It's a bit of a, you know, when we talk about, it's a hybrid, it's halfway between.
Yeah.
So let's go. Yeah, and the other reason I like it too, and the reason that I kind of get away from just the 16 fastest times is, I mean, when we look at this year, I take 2 people as an example. Rich Ryan, who was not originally in the top 15, ended up, I believe, 7th. And I believe Christopher Glosky was not in the top 15 originally.
Yeah.
And ended up winning the whole damn thing. So that's where I'm like, oh, okay, we need to maybe get away. It could be quite a thing. So that's good. I got a ton of questions that people actually asked me to ask you here. One thing, and I don't think you have officially announced this. If you can't, that's fine. World Championship location.
That's a secret.
It's a secret.
Yeah.
Is it the worst kept secret in the world? Because I have heard tons of rumors.
It might just be the worst kept secret in the world. I've heard some too.
We cannot officially say what the worst kept secret in the world is. That's great. What else they got here? Okay, something that I've seen happening, and actually I blame one of my buddies, Dylan Scott, or 2 of my buddies, Dylan and Tara Jackson, for this. In the mixed doubles, we're seeing that happening is some of the stronger male competitors, like a Dylan Scott, like a Lucas Strauss, essentially doing 90% and just finding a girl who's really good at running 1 kilometer sprints. Is this something that concerns you guys, or might make you guys change things up a little? Or is this just like, hey, this is what the rules are, and if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do?
Yeah, I think I was at that race when they did it. I think it's in New York. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, see, there's not a rule against it, and I think it's not fair. I agree with you. Like, but then if you look at Dylan and Tara, they're both elite 15. So they weren't competing in the doubles category of a division. So there was really they weren't in that sense taking away, you know, from someone. But yeah, I did that. There's no, right, as of now, there's no rule against it. Nope. And we kind of let that. Yeah.
No, and I wasn't suggesting there was a rule against it or whatever. but I was just, when I saw them do it, I'm like,
it's weird because it's like it's like against the nature of the whole doubles team thing. But I mean, like you wouldn't think of, I mean, people just come up with the funniest things, you know, so it doesn't surprise me that happened, but I think it was more like of a fun thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have taken it to the World Championships, because
no, neither do I.
just
But
not right.
I look at it as one of the things where it kind of opened Pandora's box to other people, though, and they're like, you know, they're gonna see this as, oh, this is a way to do it. Because I mean, we call it like ninjaing your way around the rules, where whenever we compete in ninja competitions, we sit there as they're describing the course, and we're all secretly going, hey, can I get away with doing this? Like, you know, and not telling us, like, you know, they didn't mention I can't do this, which means I can, until they say I can. So wasn't sure if that was something where maybe you were going to modify it a bit or go a different way, maybe take it to a point where it's like a relay type thing, so that it has to go along that way.
We're changing. I mean, the sport is like, so it's like constantly, it's not only from, it's like not a one-way street, I want to say, because our competitors and like the community is just amazing and comes up with, you know, different angles and thoughts, and like even with like suggestions. And I think that in the future, the doubles thing in general, the divisions are gonna change a little bit. Like we cannot, you know, because we have like guys, like super fast guys that they just, you know, they just need, the next steps needs to come for them. So and the same is going to be like the mixed doubles, a little bit tricky, you know, in terms of weights, because the next would be like, okay, let's make it a mixed pro double, but it's just like a maintenance, or I'm sorry, like a managing operational thing. Like how would we do that in a race setup? And we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, when you see the managing operations, I mean, that's stuff that's really difficult, right? I mean, we can come up with every idea we want and just say, well, just make it like this way. Well, that might take 3 hours to set up, right?
Exactly.
Things along that lines. You guys, and especially again, I refer to the UK, you've been getting such great turnouts and like sellouts. Is there any thoughts to maybe expanding and having it become a 2-day event?
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, the UK is just amazing with the ticket sales and the community. Like they're just really, really into it. And we're like at the end of our capacities, where we have like, you know, 12-hour days of just competing, plus prior like setups and afterwards. So it's like, the next step or the next natural evolution would be to have 2-day events. But like, as you know, those like renting out these halls is crazy expensive. They charge you for like every single thing. I mean, if you want like an extra output of power, they charge you for that, you know. So we have to be, because at the end of the day, we're also a business and we have to be profitable. So we want to make 2-day events just to make it easier for the like more, you know, the race experience a little nicer, versus you start at, I don't know, 9 and your race is over at 10:30. But at the moment, like we're still looking at options and trying to, but that's definitely in the future, to have 2-day events. Yeah.
The other thing too, along the same lines of when I'm thinking about the 2-day events, and this is just another idea again that I have out of nowhere. That's what I do. I just sit here and think.
A lot of those ideas.
But I do. I don't know why none of these big race brands have hired me yet. I'm full of great stuff, I tell you. But in the spirit of a 2-day event and something else to help draw, say, members of the CrossFit community, and I've joked about it forever and called it the Hyrox, where, you know, on a second day you would have a similar race, either the same weights, and then move just to half the running distance or something along that lines, to encourage some people who I think get scared off by the 8K. And the sheer distance of it. Has anything like that been considered, or is that still no, we're sticking with the regular plan, the regular, the doubles and the relay?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of I want to say variations that we already discussed and we already showed the team and stuff. But like at this point in time, what we want to have our global footprint, you know, solid and there, and therefore we need to like stick with what we got right now, and it's apparently it's not too bad, it's working. So we're just gonna keep it that way for a little bit.
By the way, half Hyrox is trademarked and it's mine. You owe me lots of money if you use it.
Okay, gotcha.
One quick question. Any idea when the ESPN coverage of the event will come out from the Worlds?
Yeah, it's actually, I just got an email today. It's ready, but there are some like ESPN, you know, they're having a date where they want to release it, and it's like it's on their terms. So we have to wait, but I think it's gonna be August. That's what I heard last.
Okay, so that's not bad. That's pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right. Another question I was given, is Hyrox still going to be having prize money at all the events this year?
No.
Okay.
So so along with that, the changes of the elite concept, if you want to call it like that, like there's only going to be prize money at the elite races. So 2 to 3 regionals and then world championships.
Okay. Honestly, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I really do. I do. And I know some people, and especially like let's just call it the 10 people who have a chance of winning that money.
Yeah.
For them, sure, it's a kick in the pants. But for everybody else, that money can be drawn into other areas, or you can up the money at the other bigger events and make that more substantial. So for me, it makes more sense than just, I don't think having, say, prize money at every local event really ups the registrations very much. And we talk about this with Spartan quite often too, right? Like, you know, having prize money there, what's that bring out, like another 10 people, where that's a lot of money invested just for that. So I personally think that's actually a good idea. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Like, I know I got a lot of buddies that are going to be contending for the money, but I don't think it's sound business.
Yeah, it's also, I think, because we are a sport for everyone, and you know, like the elite gets so much attention, which is great. But you know, at the end of the day, we have thousands and thousands of other participants who you know, don't aspire or are not in the elite and are happy with where they are. So we want to like make sure that we grow our business at the same time as, you know, keeping the elite happy, which is kind of like it's not always easy, but like I think if we change the concept to condense it to like 3 or 4 ultimately events where there's prize money, I think yeah, this is just a better solution for all of us.
And that said, that kind of leads into to the trajectory of the sport for you guys, as in, and I'm having a feeling you're going to say both, but is it going to be leading towards a continual mass participation event, or are you going to try to grow the professional elite side for, I mean, eventual, you know, let's call it entertainment, viewership, that kind of deal, maybe more, you know, almost team sponsorships, things along that lines? Which is there a direction that you guys are planning, or is it literally both?
It's literally both, because we our philosophy is very much the same, like from day one. So we want to create, like, you know, fitness racing for everyone and make it accessible and aspirable. But at the same time, if you look at marathons, you know, you have your open category, or everyone's doing it, and then the elite does it, and it's always like it kind of like, it's very like the one lives with the other, like it's very fruitful, when, if you want to call it like that. But we do want to have both. We want we want to be a serious sports, and we want to encourage more elite athletes or professional athletes to you know, come and, you know, try the sport and see if they're good at it. But at the same time, we want to grow our base and have, you know, more people get involved into the training concept and into the whole fitness racing community. Yeah.
So that kind of, and I mean, I like I said, that's kind of what I figured, you know, creating that symbiotic relationship almost. One other point that people are asking about, and this is, so originally you guys said, or correct me if I'm wrong, we're aiming for about 40 events for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now my understanding is there's probably locations and stuff. One of the locations people are asking about is Boston. And is Boston an event that's going to happen? Because originally that was slated for back in last year. I'm trying to remember because I was actually supposed to go too. And I couldn't make it. It got canceled due to some of the COVID restrictions where they were saying you may still have to wear a mask to race. And then it was supposed to get put to the fall. And then now we're not sure about that one. So just kind of locations. Is that one still going to be happening, or is Boston not going to be on the list and switch to something else now?
So we're gonna release all the locations soon. So you're gonna see if Boston's on the list, but I don't think I heard Boston, so I'm not sure. So, but yeah, the location. So here's the thing. After COVID, pretty much, I mean, things are like crazy busy. All the halls are busy, and we're kind of like, we're gonna have to not only fit it. It has to be on the weekend, but we then also have to fit it into the schedule of the global season, pretty much. So it's not always. It's like our operation manager who does all the planning and stuff, she does a really awesome job, because it's not easy to make everyone happy and get the right dates and contracts and stuff. So it's kind of hard, even though we might want to go to a city like, Boston, or personally, I really like to see Nashville on there or something like that. But that's just not, but that's just not always in the books. We just kind of have to go with who has a free date at the end of the day, which sounds dumb, but yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I mean, maybe next year, because obviously we're all the negotiations for next year, they're open this year, but then we're in a position where we can be okay, we want this date in this city, but for now, it's almost like a mix of cities we want to have and then cities we can have,
And what about us poor Canadian saps? We're sitting here, Toronto was so close. It was so close. And you tore the rug out from under us. No excuses. You just said, screw you, Toronto. New York's going to have it. They're a bigger deal. Whatever. Forget it. Fuck it. I don't even talk.
No, I personally would love to come to Canada. I know we're in talks with we are in talks with Canada, but it's nothing is set in stone. And that's so I'm not sure as of now, but there's several talks with different continents. And I don't know if you heard, but we just expanded to we just signed a license deal with United with the Emirates. So Hyrox is going to go to the Middle East, and we also are going to Hong Kong next season. Asia is coming, and we're in pretty almost close talks with Australia and I want to say South Africa. But yeah, there's more there, but they're not ready, so we can talk about it. Yeah, Canada's in there, but
that's huge though. When we start talking about Hong Kong and that area, just the mass population there that to draw from, that's massive.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where this little road is taking us. But
let's be frank, there's a ton of money in the UAE. So if you can get some of that, that's always the way to go. There's nothing wrong with heading to the desert for money.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's exciting times, but yeah, I don't know if Canada or Boston is in there.
I'm going to blame us. Honestly, I'm going to take a lot of blame here because we're a pain in the ass to deal with. It's true.
Honestly, Dave, if you know someone who's who's interested, then link us up, because I think we want to go to Canada, but I'm not sure.
And like I said, it's a fickle place. Toronto is a very fickle place. It's
what is fickle?
They're picky.
ESL.
they're kind of picky sometimes. Sometimes something will hit, and there's 5 million people in this area, right? So there's a good amount of people to draw on. But sometimes they'll see something and they'll be like, oh, we're all over this. If Toronto views something as international, they love it. They're all over it. But if they view it as something that's not a big deal, then they just ignore it. So it comes down to all sorts of perspective. We have a Canadian Football League, and it actually does quite well in the outlier in the other cities. But in Toronto, nobody cares. It's just it's a different place. It's a different place. We're like I said, we're a strange bunch, but hopefully it does get together. And yes, I will kick tires everywhere I go. This next part I will, and even me asking this question, I will happily edit out because this just came up, so I didn't get a chance to prepare you for this. I just saw a post online. I guess some of the athletes from the World Championship have not been paid yet.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I don't work in our accountants
Mhm.
department, and I think, you know, but I always feel like that sucks because I saw it, like it has been, you know,
Yeah.
a while, but it's not because I don't know, we don't want to pay or anything. It's just I don't know what's going on. So I'm happily to like forward that to our accountants and make sure that they've been paid. I mean, sometimes with the payments, I don't know, something's missing or something, but in this
Mhm.
case, I'm not sure what's going on.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. And you know what? That's it. I've kept you up late enough, and I really appreciate you being honest and forward and answering everything, no matter how silly the question was. Is there anything else you want to say in closing, or just to wrap up?
No, it actually was like it was a pleasure talking to you. I think I haven't done a podcast.
It always is.
Podcast. so yeah, I really like talking to you. Yeah, and I'm hoping to see Bethany next time, and I hope to see you guys in person somewhere. I don't know, come to the UK or
I'm
I don't
thinking
know.
you're more likely to see us out of Chicago.
Or that.
Yeah, more likely out of Chicago. That's about a 9-hour drive for us, and from, let's just say, the places I'm guessing you're going to be at, that might be the closest.
Gotcha. Okay,
Anyway.
Chicago it is.
Thanks so much, Mintra. I appreciate you coming on,
Right.
and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me. Take care. Bye-bye.